Daniel Craig may be one of the most recognizable film stars in the world, but moviegoers can now see him in a whole new light. He's in conversation with Mo Rocca.
Daniel Craig is back on the big screen, not as 007.
Enter Benoit Blanc.
Or the smooth Southern private investigator in the Knives Out movies.
You will find me a respectful, quiet, passive observer.
But in the movie Queer, directed by Luca Guadagnino, he's William Lee, an American living in 1950s Mexico City, who becomes infatuated with Eugene Allerton, another much younger expatriate, played by Drew Starkey. There's a really great effect in the film where there's kind of a translucent overlay.
Yeah.
And I just found that so tender and poignant.
The sort of invisible hand is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I really recognize that.
As something in life where
Yes,
something you hope
wanted,
happens.
hope would happen, yes. The yearning, and hope is a really good word, that something will become of it. And maybe it's falling in love.
Why not?
Craig's character is an alcoholic and a heroin addict.
I want to talk to you
And undeterred by the reticence of Allerton.
without speaking.
Do you think that your character, Lee, is especially ardent in his overture because the Allerton character is aloof?
Maybe, I mean, maybe, but I also think that he's searching, clearly from the top of the movie, he's searching for something, and he finds Allerton, and he thinks this is it, this is the one.
Yeah.
So therefore he throws everything at it, probably awkwardly, and embarrasses himself in the process.
Oh, when you walk into the bar and do that bow, that's, as the young people say, very cringe.
Yes, it is. Is that what they say? Yes, it is very cringe. Yeah. And that's sung to me. I've been in situations that certainly when I was younger.
Of trying to
impress and trying to be kind of that person and just failing miserably. That really rang out to me.
The movie is based on the book Queer, Beat Generation writer William S. Burroughs' semi-autobiographical account of his own time in Latin America.
It's hot on the outside and cold inside.
That's why they call it Baked Alaska, I imagine.
There was performances by Patti Smith.
We were shown around Burroughs' New York City home by the site's executive director, Anthony Huberman.
I genuinely didn't know this was here, and it's just such a lovely surprise. And if I'd known, I would have come and visited earlier. And the fact that he lived here for so long.
You know, to conquer ignorance and prejudice.
Craig's latest role harkens back to the grittier parts he was known for in Britain pre-Bond.
You know, you shouldn't be smoking in your condition.
There's a lot of things I shouldn't be doing.
Me too. Personally, I like to live as if I'm going to die tomorrow.
Daniel Craig was born in the north of England, and at 6 years old saw his first stage production. Who introduced you to the theater?
My mother. We lived in Liverpool in the 70s, and there was a theatre called the Everyman still there. They had cheap tickets so everybody could go. A lot of my mum's friends were designers and costume designers and worked backstage, and she was a single mum, and we spent most of our time there.
And was it magical to you, though?
It was, yeah. I mean, I think that's the moment I said I want to be an actor.
Yeah.
I mean, these people would walk off stage, and I'd see them in the bar afterwards, and I think they were gods, and they were just drunk.
His mother's love for theater, it turned out, ran much deeper than her son realized. Is it true that you found out later that your mother, as a young woman, had been accepted into the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art? One of the great acting schools of the world.
That's right, yeah, she was. And she hadn't told me, no. But they couldn't afford to go, so she had to go home and went to art college instead up north.
And when you found out, what was that?
I was very moved. I mean, she's always encouraged me. I mean, she sort of gently kicked me out the door to say, go get on with it. You know, all the drama schools were in London, everything that was happening, and she said, you've got to go. So I left and went.
How old were you?
16.
You were 16, you were young.
Yeah.
But your mother really wanted this for you.
She realized I was failing so badly at school that there was really no other option, I think. I mean, that's the way I see it.
Craig hasn't just been successful. He's one of the most recognized actors on the planet, whether he likes it or not. We interview a lot of big-name actors on this show, and a lot of them say they don't like being famous. And it's not that I don't believe it, but I need to understand, what does being famous do to your brain? Like that
God.
kind of
Well, that's
fame.
a big question.
The key to this entire case, and it was staring me right in the face.
It can do all sorts of wonderful things, of course, and as an actor, why did I become an actor? Because I like dressing up and showing off, and I want people to like me. I mean, it's like, if you want to sort of distill it down to its absolute basics. But what does fame do? I think fame can take you off in all sorts of weird and strange and not very healthy directions.
Well, it's got to make acting harder in a way, because you can't, for instance, easily go on the subway and just look at the person across from you and kind of observe life
There were
around
people
you.
watching, yes, yeah. I did a lot when I was young, though, so I've got a lot in the bank.
Daniel Craig has always been known for his intensity.
I want you to help me catch a killer of women.
But at 56, his next chapter might not be quite as physically rigorous. You're about 20 years older now than you were when you were first cast in Casino Royale. I think.
Remind me, why don't you?
Well, if you were reporting for duty today as Bond, and
Right.
you were the intake physician was saying, like, what do we need to know? Like, do you have now, all sorts of more like cricks and sort of cramps and sprains and stuff, or could you do it now?
Life is pain. No, and that's why I wanted to stop. One of the reasons I wanted to stop, because I've thrown myself into those movies, each one, from the very beginning. I've been wanting to do as many stunts and as many of the action sequences as I possibly can, and I've injured myself, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to, take that risk anymore. I've got kids and I've got a life, and I want to spend the rest of my life upright if I can.
Upright and sort of conserving your energy for them.
Or just standing.
Standing.
Yeah, on my own 2 feet, as opposed to being wheeled around, yeah.